Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the Gender Speaker live show. It's Friday the 11th, 9/11. God, 19 years. Let's get on with the show. So, good afternoon. Well, welcome. Today I'm following on from yesterday a little bit, talking about non-binary in 2020, because there really has been quite a surge in the numbers of people identifying as non-binary. Even I'm and now looking at that. But I want to look at some of the challenges that are facing non-binary people, because it isn't easy to simply define as non-binary. What do I mean by non-binary? Well, let's start that. Non-binary is anyone who doesn't define as a man or a woman. Now, I always used to joke, right from the time when I first changed gender, I always used to joke about this. I'd have kids come up, are you a man or a woman? And I'd always just say no, and leave them thinking about that for a while. And that's the reality that I think about for myself. I had just transitioned in 2002 and started living as a woman, was on the care path for all sorts of surgery and hormones, or was trying to get on the care path. Everybody's talking today about how long it takes. Trust me, 20 years ago, it was no easier. 5 to 10 years was often the problem of trying to get on. There wasn't even a gender clinic in Leeds. It had been temporarily closed down. So this has always been a long-term problem, trying to get support and help. The issue of non-binary was slowly becoming a problem, but the challenge is a lot of trans women don't want non-binary around. They actually think, they desperately want to be the other gender, to shift completely across and be, dress and perform and be women, be female or be male. Undergo whatever surgery is needed to put them into the binary and the other side of it. But there are a lot of people who don't want that. The thing is that when you look at the numbers of people who are trans in this country, and we estimate that this could be between 500,000 and 1 million people. It might even be more. It's very difficult to find out because nobody wants to talk about it until they've actually got the courage to deal with it. So most of us just keep it quiet, and a lot of people keep it quiet all their lives. I know people who are trans but will never come out, will never do anything about it, simply because they fear what will happen with rejection by their family, by their children, by their friends, and they're very real fears. So what makes a man or a woman? The problem here is a lot of people seem to think automatically, well, it's just about what genitals you're born with. Well, no, it's not. That's sex, not gender. We talked about that last week. Sex and gender are very different. Sex is about the biology, but I have no idea about your biology. I don't know what your chromosomes are. I don't know what levels of hormones are in your body. I can get some indication by the physical appearance of your body, but I don't know if you're taking HRT. I know a lot of trans people, even a gynecologist wouldn't be able to read that they were born male. I know trans women who have got married without telling their husbands that they were born male. And no one will ever know because they've chosen not to tell people, and that's their right, not to tell someone. So it's incredibly difficult to be able to define anything in terms of how you look, or because all I can see is how you look. I don't know in any way what you're born with, how you've actually developed that. I don't know if you're intersex. I don't know if you were, I don't know any of that information. It's personal. It's private. I don't have any right to know that information. So one of the most famous quotes was from a well-known feminist, Simone de Beauvoir, in her book, The Second Sex. One is not born, but rather becomes a woman. And this is the inference of the fact that it's very much a cultural thing. You're born with a physical body, but what makes someone a woman is the way in which they're socialized, the rules that are imposed upon them. And I really didn't get that until I changed gender. a sharp difference in recognizing and realizing I had overnight lost all that male privilege I took for granted. And any man who says, "Oh no, that doesn't exist. Men don't have privilege," yeah, forget it. Yeah, you do. And I can tell you, you know it when it's gone. Absolutely, instantly, overnight, I knew I had lost all that male privilege. I no longer commanded the respect that just simply being a man gave me. And that's something we have to deal with in our society, but that's not today's talk. The challenge then is, my passport, my legal identity, and this is the thing about being a man or a woman, it is actually a legal identity. Because no matter what happens, no matter how much I say I'm a woman or say I'm a man, when it comes to it, I'm going to have to produce a legal document, a birth certificate or a passport, to tell somebody that I'm male or female, that I'm a man or a woman. And in fact, it's the birth certificate which is the legal document that defines whether you are male or female. And that can be changed. That can be changed by getting a gender recognition certificate and then applying. Well, it's an automatically if your passport is in the UK, but mine was in Malta, so it wasn't. But getting a passport changed is actually even easier. All I need is a letter from a medical practitioner to say I have been diagnosed as gender dysphoric and that this is a long-term case. Now, things are changing in all sorts of practical ways on this, but I got that from the government website just yesterday, so I know that you still need either a gender recognition certificate or you need a letter or a birth certificate that actually shows what your new gender is. But it's relatively easy, relatively straightforward. Once you have that letter, and that I found was very easy to get years ago. Most people change their passport as probably the first thing they do on that road to transition. Now, here's the challenge for non-binary people. You can't get a passport that shows that you're not male or female. You have to be one or the other. You can change, but you have to change from one to the other. And there's the big challenge. So because of that, because I can't transition to be non-binary in a legal sense, I can't get a gender recognition certificate that says I'm now non-binary. I can't get a passport that says I'm non-binary. I can't, therefore, qualify for all of the protection given to me as a trans woman by the Equality Act. So non-binary people are stuck in this limbo at the moment. Now, the other thing is that most countries don't have. In most countries, we still have to be assigned male or female. It's changing. Australia changed a long time ago. Spain, I think it's changed. In Denmark, lots and lots of countries are bringing in a non-binary identifier, so that you can be neither male nor female. Thailand, you can do it. In Nepal, you can do it. In certain states in America, I'm not sure whether passports in America are actually federal or whether they're state, but state-based things, so driving license things are now being issued in non-binary with an X marker. When more and more people have done it, that will happen. Now, this is happening in the UK. There is currently a private members bill going through Parliament. Just Christine Jardine is putting it through, second reading in November. I don't know if it'll get through. The problem at the moment is this government is in chaos, and we're about to hit all the Brexit final details for the end of December. There's a great risk that anything going through at the moment is just going to get lost in the scramble to sort out Brexit and to deal with the potential second wave that could be coming. And even if we get this, even if we can put X markers on passports, that won't fix it until everyone does, because a passport means I'm going to travel to somebody else's country and I'm going to arrive, and they've got a computer system that they have to enter in either by a scanning my document or whatever, but they're going to enter something in which almost certainly wants a distinction of am I male or female, because it is such an important thing. I don't know why it's so important for us to know whether somebody's male or female, but most of our systems automatically divide the whole of the world into male and female. if they can't put male or female into their computer system, it won't accept me. So Canada allows X markers on birth certificates, and on passports, but it still has to show an M or F for other countries to be able to record a sex, whether that's the birth sex or whether that's an acquired gender. It really doesn't matter, but there has to be an M or F that they can also put in. So we have a long struggle that's going to go ahead. The second problem that's going on at the moment in this maelstrom of difficulty is labels. And if you've probably been on Facebook and noticed that you put MF, and then if you get other, you can type anything in, and there are 70 different labels that they've picked. So it's a lot of labels. We've got things like agender, trans feminine, trans masculine. So I define as trans feminine because I veer towards a feminine presentation. That's my preference. That's how I like it. I have a partner who veers towards a masculine presentation. But there are all sorts of people who display their gender in various different ways: bigender, demigender, gender fluid. People express themselves in different. Doesn't mean they actually change. Doesn't even mean that they're trans. They can. Lots of people who are non-binary are not trans. They prefer. I have a lot of female friends I know who express themselves in a very masculine way. The term we used to call of tomboys. Now women are growing up and they can wear what they want. It's more difficult for men, because the moment a man starts to express himself in a very feminine way, wearing skirts, dresses, very colorful clothes, everybody starts to make all sorts of assumptions about their sexuality, and they stand to risk all sorts of challenges. The big challenge going on here is about pronouns. How am I referred to? We're using MX now, mix, instead of Ms. or Mr. But the pronouns, they, them. Now, there are a lot of possibilities. Here's three of the new ones, these, them, ziz. And most people are going to look at, how do you pronounce that, for goodness sake? How do you remember that? And it's not just that, because there are more, Z, here. Well, I've got piles of lists of them, because people keep inventing new ones they think will work better for themselves. The reality is that most of us are going to this singular they, them, theirs, because that's what's going to work best. And it's relatively easy to do this. I mean, we use the singular they and them all the time anyway. Someone's left their phone here. Could you make sure you give it to them? We don't even think about it. If we don't know what someone's gender is, we use singular they, them, theirs. It's just instantaneous. So just do the same thing for people. You don't know someone's gender. You don't know if they're male or female, right? Just use singular they, them, theirs. Can you tell them we're ready for them? No, I say it's easy. If you've got in your head he or she, it's very hard to switch that. That's the thing I find. I still find it difficult. I still mix my own gender pronouns up. I mix other people's friends up. So, you've got to think about this and use it on a regular basis. If you don't know someone's gender, someone in your workplace or a customer is coming in, or a service user, and it's not clear, then the safest thing to do is automatically use they, them, theirs, and then ask or find out. Most people won't be offended if you refer to them with singular they, them, their pronouns. What we want ultimately is acceptance and inclusion. That's it. I want to feel that I can express myself as I am, how I feel comfortable, wear the kind of clothes that I feel comfortable in, do the kind of work I feel comfortable with. I want to express myself, and that means that my gender is going to be expressed in a more feminine way. I'm not going to muck around by trying to change my voice. I'm certainly not going to even think about thoughts like voice surgery. Not very keen on any ideas of surgery. I'll avoid surgery wherever I possibly can. Why do I need to? Why do I need to fix everything to try and conform to somebody else? If I'm doing it for somebody else, then I don't want to do it. If it's going to make me feel comfortable, that's a totally different thing. But what we've got is a world where we need to just accept people for who they choose to be. Why does what people wear, why does how way people act, why does the color of someone's hair have to have any bearing on whether we accept or include them or not? We have a very mixed kind. If you get a chance to get involved, I know sadly this year all the prides have gone, and I've really missed them, because Pride weeks and Pride Month, right the way through June, July, and August, that's always been a great opportunity to go along to events like Sparkle in Manchester, Manchester Pride, London Pride, Hull Pride. Oh, we have a fabulous Pride here in Hull, and it's just this great opportunity to mix with thousands of people where gender doesn't matter. People are gay, they're straight, they're mixed up, and express themselves in all sorts of different ways. I don't need to know about their sexuality. I didn't need to know their gender. They're just a bunch of people having a good time and enjoying themselves. So that's the whole goal. That's what we're trying to achieve. Get ourselves all accepted. And it means that everybody else has just got to learn a little bit of just learn how to be able to refer to people without designating them within this binary model. That's the goal. That's the objective. That's what we're trying to achieve. And who knows, we may end up at a point where we have a much more accepting society that actually allows people to simply grow, be themselves, and be the best that they can possibly be. I'll be back tomorrow. Look forward to seeing you there.